A comforting, warming and hearty dish served with a zingy, spicy sauce. This is my version of homemade Hainanese chicken rice. Hey everyone, welcome back to another What Wednesdays. It's Shay here at School of Wok, London's premier Asian cookery school. And today we're going to be making some chicken and rice. That's it, chicken and rice. No, we're going to throw in some few things as well. But just to get you started, we are going to show you how to kind of prep up some aromatics. So we've got some spring onion, a little bit of ginger to go into a broth. It'll be delicious. Come, do this with me, okay? So, a bit of ginger here, just peeled with a teaspoon, and I'm just going to make just very, very thick slices here, nothing complicated whatsoever. This is all going to infuse the broth as we go along. I also have just a couple of spring onions here, super easy. What we want to do is just take off the rooty bit. That goes out the way. So just taking the spring onion into sort of almost like a half, but keeping the top end of the spring onion still intact, so everything still holds itself together, just like that. Super easy, okay? So we just pop the spring onions into the pot as well as the slices of ginger, and that's all good to go. Now we're just gonna add some chicken stock here. So I've got some homemade chicken stock, and that just goes in. That's about 350 mils of chicken stock. Lovely, luscious, homemade chicken stock. It's quite nice if you can use homemade. Otherwise, something out of a pot or like a little pouch, that's great. I would just avoid maybe like the stock cube because it's a little bit, not much flavor there. So we would just want to make sure you've got lots of gelatin and collagen in there because that is really kind of the soul of the dish, as it were. I'm just going to turn on the hob now, get that going. Just want a nice kind of medium heat, just kind of let that infuse and kind of cook along nicely. In the meantime, we are going to prep up some chicken. So here I've got some bone-in chicken thighs. So it's got a little bit of fat here. I'm just going to trim off the fat and add the trimmed fat also into the pan, which will just give it a really nice kind of yummy fattiness. That's just lots of flavor. So just trimming this off. And then with the trimmings, I'm just gonna pop them to the side. So just getting that little bit off with my little paring knife. This is just really handy here because it's nice and small, so I'm not kind of like fumbling with a big cleaver. Just nice for little small jobs like this. So whilst that fat's just kind of infusing and kind of doing its thing in the pot, I'm just going to take out the bone from this chicken, making a long cut just along the line of the bone. So just going to get out with the thigh bone because we're going to then add that into the stock to also just to kind of give it more oomph and more flavor. Now that the bones are out, I'm just going to pop them into the broth. And then just before I go wash my hands, I might just also just trim up the chicken a little bit or just portion them up a little bit because the fillets now are quite large, just to make it a little bit easier to cook, a little bit nicer to eat as well, just into kind of big chunky bits like that. And then get that marinated. So I've got my trusty little School of Wok grater here, super easy. Just going to run the ginger through the grater so it's super nice and fine. And next up we're just going to go with some garlic, a couple of cloves, about 3 cloves of garlic I think. Super fine, puree, look at that. And we're just going to add some more aromatics here. I've got just a little bit of salt that comes in the form of some light soy sauce. Of course, you can't forget some Shaoxing rice wine, just to kind of take away any kind of gaminess from the chicken. Tiny bit of sesame oil, just to make it smell extra nice. And then also just a little pinch of sugar to taste, entirely up to you whether you want to add the sugar or not. I just find that it kind of balances out the soy sauce a little bit. And then, you know, rule of thumb, go in with your hands and make a mess, okay? Now that is really smelling fantastic. Smells just like Hainanese chicken. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of corn flour just to velvet the meat a little bit so it doesn't dry out too much when it comes to cooking it later on. And we're just gonna let that marinate. Could be just for a few minutes like we're doing today. You could leave it for a few hours, entirely up to you, but that is really now we're going to prep the rice part of the dish. We've got a just a little onion here. I'm just going to finely chop it down with my trusty little knife. Look at how good it is. You just go through like knife through hot butter. It's actually a really good knife. Right, we're just gonna get cooking now. I've got a wok sort of on a medium-high heat. Quite a bit of oil in this, because we don't want the onions to stick, and also you want a little bit more of that fat to come through. I'm just going to brown off these onions. I'm just gonna, every now and then, give it a bit of a stir, but you know, not really moving it very much. I do want a little bit of color on these onions here, so they are looking really good. So once the edges are slightly tinged with a bit of brown, we are just gonna then go in with the rice. Yes, we're definitely gonna fry off this rice. So just washed jasmine rice. I washed them a couple of times with some cold water. That can go in. And then we're just going to give it a really good stir, really good toss, just to make sure that it's all evenly coated. I'm just going to let that cook off for about a minute or so, just to kind of kickstart the cooking process. And then we're just going to get the broth, the infused broth in with the rice. Beautiful. So you can hear that crispy kind of crackling noise coming from the rice. So next bit, we're just going to get the broth in, super easy. All you've got to do, maybe get hold of a sieve, and we're just going to pour the infused liquid in there. Give that a really, really good stir, just to make sure that everything, all the grains of rice are kind of in the liquid. And then obviously we can't forget season, so a tiny bit of beautiful sea salt in there. And we're just gonna pile on the chicken straight on top of the rice. So once you see all of that little bubbling happening there in the middle of that pot, you wanna turn this all the way down to like a bare simmer. So just basically just wanna slowly cook that rice, and it's going to slowly absorb all of that moisture, all of the broth. And then the chicken is going to cook through as well. I find that having a lid does help. Go for a glass lid or just a wok lid is absolutely fine. And then from here, just time it for about 15 minutes or so on a medium kind of low heat. And then just check back every now and then. Just make sure that the rice is cooking okay. So just kind of let that bubble along and you'll be fine. Right, lads, we're gonna make some chili sauces now. So we're gonna make a specific chili sauce. It's just gonna be super easy. This is gonna be more of a style of a Hainanese chicken rice. So I've got some ginger in here, just gonna pop it in the mortar. A couple of cloves of garlic. You can add as many as you like. Well, I wouldn't say as many as you like, but just enough to kind of give it a little bit of that aromatic punch. Just gonna break it all down in a mortar and pestle, because it doesn't take much time anyway. And you know, the chicken's cooking and I'm just looking for a job to do, so. Garlic keeps wanting to escape. Of course, it wouldn't be Southeast Asian if you didn't have any red chilies in here. Just maybe two or three red bird's-eye chilies, and maybe also just a tiny pinch of salt. Just really helps the chilies break down a little bit more. And this is where you've got to be really careful, because chili juice in the eye is not very nice. And once you have got a fairly mashed up version of the paste, then we're just going to go in with some lime juice. You could obviously use white rice vinegar as well, but I just much prefer lime juice because it's got that lovely citrusy brightness to it. And we're just going to balance it all with a tiny bit of sugar, just so that it's not overly citrusy, not overly sour, and then just kind of give it a really good mix. And then just a really quick taste, just to make sure it's all balanced. Oh, we are talking chicken rice here. So let's just now have a look at the chicken and the rice. Oh, that looks really, really good. Oh, it smells amazing. Right, I'm just gonna bowl up here. I usually just start by getting the chicken a little bit out of the way, because I want the rice to actually come out first. So I just cannot get over how nice it smells right now. So beautiful, luscious, golden, shiny rice. I've got some chicken I'm gonna get on top of the rice. And I've just got some sprigs of coriander here. I'm just gonna get them onto the rice. and then just a really, really generous, or as little as you like, because this is quite hot, of the chili sauce all over the rice. Or you can also just kind of serve it on the side in a little dish or ramekin like this, but I really enjoy kind of having it all over on top of my chicken because it just kind of jazzes it up. Right, time for a quick taste. I cannot tell you how amazing this smells. I hope it tastes good too. So you get a little bit of your chicken, a bit of that chili sauce, and then just scoop everything with a bit of rice onto your spoon. And voila, there you go. That is your one-pan chicken and rice. I can't stop eating this, is so good. But anyway, just wanted to say a big thank you for watching this video, and also if you like this video, do check out the many other videos that we've got on the channel, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Take care.